The respiratory tree begins with the trachea. It's about 10 centimetres long and about 2.5 centimetres in diameter. It extends from the larynx all the way down into the middle of the thorax and divides into two primary bronchi. Rings of hyaline cartilage, represented by these pale blue rings on this model, support the lumen from collapsing during inspiration. So it's always an open tube. Between the rings of cartilage, represented by this grey coloured area on the model, is mostly smooth muscle and elastic tissue. Exactly what one sees of the trachea in histological section depends on whether the plane of section passes mainly through one of the horseshoe-shaped supporting rings of cartilage or between the two neighbouring cartilages. Luckily, this section cuts through cartilage. This makes it easier to see that the main masses of mixed glands lie about as deep from the epithelium as the cartilages are. But they're also located between the cartilages, which you won't see in this particular section. A very thin band of smooth muscle, the trachealis muscle, stretches between the two ends of a cartilage to form the posterior wall of the trachea. The muscle fibres insert into the dense elastic fibre bundles that surround the tracheal cartilages, and they're joined to the mucous membrane by a layer of very loose connective tissue. The adventitial layer here on the posterior wall will be adjacent to the esophagus. The entire lining of the trachea is typical respiratory tract epithelium. Elastic tissue is within the lamina propria as well as in the bands adjacent to the trachealis muscle, so that the trachea is a flexible tube. There's no real need to see these familiar histological details at a higher magnification, so let me now describe the structure of a bronchus.